In New York, Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, thanks so much for being with us. I just want to replay a little of the scene that we saw yesterday at Union Station when the Defense Secretary and the Vice President were there. Listen to this. Clearly, these protesters seemed a little unhinged. Do you think that they were protesting efforts to crack down on crime, or were they just protesting the Trump administration?
Well, they didn't look like the typical resident of DC, not counting members of Congress, their staff, and people who work in the various agencies. But these look like the protesters that we all face every day in our district. They're suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. They are just against anything President Trump does. But I'll tell you what I've been hearing from my staff and others and people that live in DC. People are loving having actually safe streets that can walk around all over. I know some of my staff, I know they've been assaulted. One of my staffers was held up at gunpoint. Another was grazed by a bullet. Early a couple of years ago. I mean, it never ends. And I've had numerous carjackings in Navy Yard where I live. So I think everyone would like to see a safer Navy Yard, a safer Washington, D.C. I live just 2 blocks from Nat Stadium. I mean, these are important parts of our city where lots of people go and they bring commerce to our communities. Isn't that what it's about, is to have safe communities so our businesses can thrive and people can enjoy the beauty of Washington, D.C.? I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, of course, what goes on in the 7th and the 8th wards, which is where the preponderance of crime is in Washington, D.C., and has been historically. Pam Bondi had the update on crime crackdown. Here's what she said. We've now made a total of 630 arrests and seized 86 illegal guns in D.C. 53 arrests were made yesterday, plus 24 ICE arrests and 10 guns taken off the streets. Our incredible U.S. Marshals even helped recover a missing child. Our mission to make D.C. safe again isn't slowing down. And yet you've got these people who are screaming at the top of their lungs about efforts to crack down on crime. Some even going so far as to say, well, the National Guard's not really doing anything. They're just standing around. But, I mean, appearance can be deterrence as well. It's like on a holiday weekend. Highway Patrol often puts an empty police cruiser. Yeah, on a holiday weekend, Highway Patrol often puts an empty police cruiser at the side of an interstate. And when people see that, they slow down. So just the appearance can help deter crime.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look what Nancy Pelosi did. She covered the Capitol with National Guardsmen from all over the country. She put up razor wire fence just around the Capitol, which was an embarrassment and unnecessary. And I think that, the National Guard, Kathy Hochul, our governor, who's decrying President Trump using the National Guard, brought the National Guard into our prisons because she had 2 prisons that were actually overcome by inmates. And we lost control of them. And so the National Guard are doing a lot of deterrence, a lot of background, and a lot of support. And I think that really helps. A lot of it is definitely what you described as, look, the appearance of having some strength and some people that are going to enforce the law really helps. And I'll tell you a big problem in D.C. that I know that Jeanine Pirro and others have talked about is a lot of these crimes are being committed by teenagers. Yes. They're kids. It must be maybe a post-COVID thing, but a lot of them are out. They're not going to school. They're all over committing crimes. They're taking advantage of the fact that their school truancy isn't being enforced. So I think this is a really good thing for DC. And I think that look at some of the other cities. I come from upstate New York. We have problems in our cities, and it's because of New York state laws, not just New York City. It's the laws that are put in place by New York. Everybody can get away with anything, and including they're letting prisoners out all the time. And so we don't even have people in our prisons. So, I mean, these are huge problems that we're facing with crime. And I don't understand why Democrats are defending the criminals. They've been doing this all year, whether it's a Tren de Aragua or, a gangbanger from El Salvador, whoever. Why are they defending these people that have committed crimes, murder, rape, dangerous crimes, burglary, extortion against businesses and our own American citizens here?
The vice president was on with Laura Ingraham last night. Here's what he said about the D.C. crackdown and sort of sending a signal to blue states and blue cities that are beset with crime. Listen to this.
How many people are living and breathing today because Donald Trump had the willpower to say, you know what, we're sick of D.C. being a home to lawlessness. We're going to bring some public order back to the nation's capital.
So, I mean, the message to cities that are beset with crime, and they could just be blue cities, or maybe there's some red cities in the South as well that have high crime rates. If you're willing to do something about it, it's possible to attack the problem.
Absolutely. I think, action is what President Trump's signature is. He is a man of action. He's not someone that sits around and discusses things. He takes action. He listens to a lot of viewpoints. And I think this is what we really needed. I'd love to have President Trump come in and clean up a bunch of the cities in upstate New York, whether it's Albany, Rochester, which trends on X every day for among the highest violent crime in the Northeast. One city that, was the home of Xerox and Kodak and Bausch and Lomb and all these great, companies. It's a dangerous place to be because of the policies, again, where Democrats coddle criminals and don't protect their own citizens.
Congresswoman, good to catch up with you. Thank you so much for taking the time
Thank
this
you.
afternoon. All right, we'll see you again soon.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.